Hi, Mike from Know Your Rights and Success Coaching International, back with a very solemn but important ANZAC Day update. So I posed a question on various Facebook groups yesterday. Do you think our ANZACs would be proud if they were here today? And there was, on the whole, a resounding no. Some people went as far as to say that no, they believed that they would be absolutely disgusted looking around and seeing the world the way it is, and especially our country the way it is today. Very extremely brave men and women gave up their lives for our freedoms, and our government has stepped in and taken them away completely unlawfully. And worse still, people are just raising their arms up, blatantly giving away even further freedoms under this completely false and misleading guise of health and safety. And it is, quite sadly, truly shocking to see. And I, for one, don't believe that our ANZACs would be happy at all, not one bit, knowing that they gave up their lives for us, for our freedoms, to see us throwing our freedoms away, as we have done over the past few weeks. Yes, okay, there is a reason for us to have social distancing. Yes, there is a reason for us to have some kind of measures in place. But as has been explained, not only by myself, but many far more educated people than me, okay, 98% of the population will not get this virus at all, and 98% of the 2% that do get it will only at best have very mild symptoms. The media spouts out that, oh yes, another person died today, or another 2 people died today, and then you listen in and these people are in their 80s, these people are in their 90s. And yes, of course, I'm sure that's very sad for their families, but with all due respect to them, they'd had a good innings. They were probably inflicted with some other underlying issues and were on their last legs anyway. Why on earth are we guaranteed to negatively impact and affect the majority of most Australians' lives, to destroy businesses, to destroy incomes, in many cases to destroy lives and families, because the suicide rate, the mental health rate has just gone through the roof, all because we're possibly, maybe, potentially saving a few extra lives? That is simply inexcusable. It is simply ridiculous, and it makes no sense. You can spout all the figures that you like, but it's like saying, oh, but there's been way less deaths on our roads. Of course there's been less deaths on our roads, because, there's been far few people driving on our roads. But look at the economic cost. Yes, of course, every life matters. Absolutely. But somewhere there's got to be a cost balance. It'd be better to say, well, there should be just blanket speeds of, 30 k's an hour everywhere, on all roads at all times, and that would greatly reduce the road toll. Sure, of course it would, but at what cost, okay, of the economy and people moving about freely? So we've got to think sensibly, we've got to think logically, because I highly doubt that this is what our ANZACs fought for. I highly doubt that our ANZACs would be impressed if they were here today looking at what we've voluntarily given up, what we've allowed our government to take from us, the very freedoms that they fought for. Now, thankfully, a number of people have seen through this rubbish. A number of people have collected together in a number of states yesterday, and they either attended or organised or both some anti-lockdown protests. They went out and they held up placards and messages saying, this is not what our diggers fought for. This, erosion of our freedoms is not what ANZAC Day is all about. Now, they did all the right things, they socially distanced, and they made sure there was space between them and all the rest of it. But you know what's interesting? That if you have a look at the videos, because they're all over Facebook, they're all online, if you look at the videos of the police that turn up, they're all standing in bunches, they're all standing around right next to each other, there's no masks on, there's no protective gear on. So any ridiculous, baseless claim that this lockdown is because health and safety is absolutely inexcusable. It's absolutely unsustainable, and it just makes no sense. This is about control, pure and simple. So, you know, my huge commendations to those who went and organised various protests, and to those who went out of their house and went and stood and protested safely for the very freedoms that our ANZACs fought for. Unfortunately, I was buried in emails and comments and posts and all the rest of it, trying to respond to people and help people, so I couldn't be there myself, but I know many who were. And they were conducted very safely within all the social distancing guidelines. And my highest commendation to those people for doing that. Now, I've seen all the barrage of comments, oh, these people should be fined and they should be locked up and they're putting everybody at danger. Really? How many cases have you heard of that came out of those protests? Who's caught coronavirus because they attended a protest? It's absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? 99% of people who were sitting there making those comments on their posts were sitting there as little keyboard warriors in the safety and comfort of their own home, enjoying their freedom that our very ANZACs fought for. So you should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves. Okay, the people who broke ranks, the people who went out and who stood for something, who protested, they are the heroes here. Because as I've said to people many times before, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's what we've been doing in general terms in Australia for a very long time. We've spoken about this in our live events. You know, the recent census where they want you all to hand over your data. Now ScoMo wants us all to, you know, they've released this this COVID-19 tracking app, and he's urging everybody to sign up for this tracking app and give away more of their freedoms. Okay, lock yourselves at home for a few weeks, and then a few weeks more, and then a few weeks more. Okay, don't worry about your businesses, don't worry about your income. You know, we're here to save lives. I mean, what a load of garbage. Okay, thankfully people are seeing through that. Thankfully, people are standing up. Thankfully, people are fighting back. Thankfully, people are educating themselves. Now, I don't listen to the mainstream media, but I have heard reports that I believe it's Queensland and possibly WA are about to start relaxing their lockdown laws, and that is fantastic. And that is purely and simply because enough people have arced up. Okay, because I heard that the beaches in Queensland were flooded because people just say, this is insane. We're not buying into this propaganda anymore. The numbers don't stack up. You cannot justify shutting the country down, closing down businesses, costing people their income for the tiny, minuscule number of deaths that this thing is supposedly causing. Okay? And the fact that people are bombarding the politicians and putting comments and letters and my will letters and everything and getting them to take notice and getting them to take action is absolutely fantastic. So as these lockdown laws start relaxing, as I said on a previous video, this is the time. Don't take your foot off the pedal. This is the time to push all the way to the floor. Let we the people, let people power really shine through now. Continue informing yourselves, continue educating yourselves, continue understanding the importance of my will letters and documents like that. And go and keep the momentum up, and let's keep putting the pressure on, and let us show our true respect for what our ANZACs fought for, and let us stand up for our freedoms, and let us make sure that we continue to fight for our freedoms, just as those who came before us did. So I want to leave you all with that thought as we finish up this weekend. We are going to be talking about a lot more on Tuesday night show. It's a completely free show. I'm not mentioning any books or websites or anything tonight. Tune into our show on Tuesday night, knowyourrightsgroup.com.au/radio-show, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll give you a lot more tips and updates and everything on that. Other than that, keep fighting the good fight, everyone. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.